Legendary women of the Bible, another one that I want to talk about is Miriam. You may not think of Miriam as a legendary woman. You may think of her and know her simply as Moses' sister, which really is a major part of her story because she was the one who followed when Moses was put in the basket in the Nile. She's the one that followed the basket along the river. She was the one at such a young age who had the courage and audacity to go to the Pharaoh's daughter and who had found the basket and said, "Hey, do you want me to go get a nurse, a Hebrew nurse, so that that Hebrew nurse can take care of this baby you just found?" So she was that brave one who not only followed Moses' basket along the river, but also approached the Pharaoh's daughter. I mean, that took some guts to go to Pharaoh's daughter. And then she was thinking the whole time, I'm going to go get mom so that mom can take care of my baby brother and raise him. And so she was a very smart person from the get-go, from the very, very early age. And then you see her again as Moses is leading the people out of Egypt. She's the one that's leading the people in singing and dancing. So you see that leadership part of her too. But here's what I want to highlight. When we talk about Miriam as being legendary, and she had her faults, she had her issues, but look at what Micah 6:4 says. So Micah 6:4, God says, I brought you up out of Egypt and redeemed you from the land of slavery. I sent Moses to lead you, also Aaron and Miriam. Isn't that awesome? So in Micah 6:4, God is reminding his people what he did for them, how he brought them out of slavery, how he kept them alive and kept them going. And he names Miriam, a woman, as one of the three leaders that he sent. He sent. So go back and read Micah 6:4. See what that says. God sent three leaders, Moses, also Aaron and Miriam. So Miriam is a legendary woman of the Bible. God put her in a leadership position. And you don't hear about that. You don't really hear people talking about her being a leadership role because it's kind of buried in, number one, it's buried in Micah 6:4, kind of one of those verses you don't really see or hear about. But it is there. And then you look back and watch her actions from the time she was young until that time when, well, she had a really big mistake where she said something negative about Moses and God struck her with leprosy. But even in that moment, when she was sent outside the community, because when someone had leprosy, they had to be outside the community for a period of time. Moses pleaded with God not to kill her, not to take her life. So God cleansed her of the leprosy, but she still had that period of time which she had to get purified, had to get clean. The people of the Hebrew people refused to leave her there. They waited until she had gotten through that period of time in which she had to be clean before they moved on to the next location, which meant she had a huge impact on the people. They loved her. They cared for her and they wanted her part of their community. So much so they would not move on without her. So Miriam is a legendary woman of the Bible. Go read her stories from the time she was walking along the Nile, watching the baby basket, approaching Pharaoh. And in Micah 6:4, God says, I sent you, Miriam, as a leader. All right, legendary women of the Bible, go check out Miriam.